Okay, boom. We're back. The Tru-Mon Show, episode 95, with Mr. Santos Bonacci from Australia, our brother Santos. How are you, Santos?
Great, thanks.
Great. With
Glad to be
Rob
back.
also. Rob Pinchot,
Hey,
I'm
Rob.
great as well.
my bro. How are you?
Hey, Santos. Yeah, good to see you, Yannick. Thanks for having
Good.
me again.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to have another hangout together, which is great. I'm I feel highly favored always. But you know, it comes with also by taking actions. If I wouldn't take action, I wouldn't be here. So, you can be highly favored, but you also have to take action in life to get to where you want to get, where you want to go. And if I wouldn't have never take action, you know, it goes with taking action, and that's going to be part of one of my questions later on concerning the astrology and everything. But first, Santos, I would like to go back a bit on the plane. I have a bit of echo. I don't know if you guys have echo.
Test.
No? Okay, we're good?
Yep.
I hear myself a bit, but it's not me this time.
Well, Yannick, you have an echo still. I don't know. I hear it.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Hold on, we'll try to fix that. I don't know. So far, it's good here. I don't know. It's just a little bit in the background. It's no big deal.
That's fine.
Yeah, so I would like to go back, first of all, to what we said last week about the plane of inertia, okay? Because this is very important. I've been developing some reflection this week on my other channel. I have another channel. I go live every day, Motivation Academy, and I do reflection live. I do my live reasoning on YouTube always. And the plane of inertia is something that fascinates me because I think this is a place also, you know, we find ourselves on the plane of inertia, which is Earth. That's the plane of inertia. That's also why I was thinking about it. I'm like, that makes sense because this is why we ground ourselves to the Earth. We ground all electrical equipment to the Earth because it's the plane of inertia. So it's neutral, like it's neutral. So that neutral place is found also inside of ourselves. And that place inside of ourselves, this is the place where I'm interested at because I think this is the space, you know, where we can reside, this place in between our thoughts. Would that be the plane of inertia, Santos, for the human body, the place in between our thoughts where we reside in our true essence, our true nature, what we are from the beginning without being bombarded by thoughts here and there? Would that be the plane of inertia for us? It's a reflection I had.
There'll be many planes of inertia because we are our body has many organs. So the liver has its plane, the spleen, the heart. The heart is the big one, okay? The heart is the center of our main torus/torso. Okay, so when it comes to the human organism, it's the same as everything else, you see. You have the the heart, the center. This will be the plane of inertia, and from there we'll go out the torus field. So you have, and that will be your heart here. But inside that, there are many others. Okay, so the liver will be over here, the spleen, and they're all interlocking. But your soul, not your spirit, your soul is here in the heart. That's the plane of inertia. Yes, that's the center of the main vortex of your torso, torus.
So that's why we do things from the heart. When you have a battle, you know, when you have a battle in between the mind and the heart, follow your heart.
Yeah,
that's it. I like that.
That's always the right thing to do, especially when the heart is intelligent and when it is enlightened. An unenlightened heart will probably be a dangerous heart to follow, but the one whose heart is good, no problem. It's you know, to follow your heart. That would mean that this vortex, that if you breathe properly, and you have a calm heart, this vortex, this field actually grows. You can grow your field of your sphere of influence, if you want to put it that way. This is a sphere, and we live inside this sphere. It's a tenfold sphere, just like the Earth. It's the same as the Earth, as we saw last week. We saw that the Earth here is the plane of inertia inside the massive, massive torus field of the Earth's. And so plane of inertia becomes planet Earth. Okay, Earth means, well, if you have ether, Earth, well, I should have put that R in there, and pretty much it's the same word, as you can see. And we showed last week that the 5 elements are in the human hand. This is the Earth, the pinky. When you want to earth, you do this mudra. When you want emotional stability, you do the water. You connect ether with the water element. So you do your water mudra. And that's why you put the ring there when you get married, because it's an emotional, it's an emotional link that you have with your partner. Okay. Here is if you want mental stability, the middle finger. And here if you want intuition, energy, clarity, that comes from this mudra. Okay, so when you look at your Kabbalistic tree, so you've got earth, ether at the top, kether, and at the bottom you have earth. So earther to ether, or ether to earther. And so what you're doing now is you're going from the bottom here, from Malkuth, from the earth, you're going up now to the water, a baptism of water. Then you have a baptism of fire or air or spirit. Then you have a baptism of fire. And you go back to ether, back to the heavens.
That's why they always do that sign. They always do that sign. I see that often.
Yeah, how many times do you see people sitting there like that? You know,
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is they're channeling those energies, and they're flowing better, because these are the points where you can create a circuit for those energies. So if you wanted to ground all of your elements, you would do this mudra. So you would sit there in the bush and meditate like this. Okay?
Yeah.
And you would have all elements are grounding now, earthing from ether to earther. So this is the plane of inertia here, and what we have. If we're going to talk atomic, we know that scientists tell us that the nature of atoms is neutron, proton, and electron. All right. Well, so if we look at all these, this is the Trinity. Everything's always in trinities in nature. Okay. The neutron is this, the plane of inertia of every atom. Every atom has this plane. Energy disappears into this plane and comes out the other side. So what you do is you're having energies going out like exactly like this. But if we wanted to really depict how it's really going, you would do this. The figure 8.
Yeah.
So here is the 0 point, the neutron, and when energy is centrifugally divergent, that's called a proton. Walter Russell explained this clearly. He explained it like this in a vortex. So he put the 0 point. He put the 0 point here, and he said that a proton is a neutron, is an electron, depending on where you isolate it. If it's doing this, if it's compressing, that's what he calls an electron. But he says on the other side, the proton is expanding. And so now we have an electron contracting, a proton expanding. But you see, at the same time as this is happening, you've also got a vortex going here like this, and another one going here like that. And then you've got another one going like this, and another one like that. And so you've got these
always the plane of
inertia.
inertia. Yeah.
So what's going on is this. Okay, and so the only difference is Walter Russell will call these vortexes, whereas Ken Wheeler and the more modern people, seeing that we have clear technological photographs and computer images of the torus field, now we know that the vortex that Walter Russell is talking about is this one here and here. So that vortex, and so what we find is that they're all the same thing. There's no particles. There's no particles in the world called electrons. Even the discoverer, so-called discoverer of the electron, J.J. Thomson, Tom's son, J.J. Thomson, all of this stuff, you'll be surprised. It's all written in the heavens. It's beyond our intelligence to understand how things like that happen. Thomson, the discoverer of the electron, Atom's son. I mean, please, it could have been Dixon, could have been whatever.
Why does it happen to be
son.
that?
Now
though?
he even. Sorry, what was that, Bill? Rob?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, but like, why does it happen to be that perfect? You know, like he's a discoverer of that, you know, and that's his last name. I mean,
yeah. There's many ways to explain that phenomenon, how that works. When I release my 450-page PowerPoint presentation, All is Atum, you'll understand how these things happen. There's ways that the universe makes this happen. But anyway, he denied, J.J. Thomson denied that the electron is a particle till the day he died virtually. I think he had pressure, and eventually he said, "Oh yeah, okay, it's a particle." I don't know the history there, but all his life he maintained that there are no particles. A photon is not a particle. Electron is not a particle. So what you're doing is you're calling something an electron when it's compressing, and you're calling it a proton, radiate, rarefy, proton, when it's expanding. And that's all that's happening. You've got compression and rarefaction everywhere in the universe. It's a pump. So when I breathe, compression, rarefaction. My heartbeat, it's the same. So what we need to do is understand that what we have is a longitudinal wave, the standing wave, and that generates an electromagnetic tempospatial transverse wave. So you've got longitudinal, and you've got transverse. So transverse, so longitudinal means everything's going hunky-dory in one direction, no bumps, no vibrations, no time dilations, just direct energy. That's what they call entangled particles, the quantity, looking for quantity, materialist physicists. They will call these entangled particles. Well, all particles, which I call pulses, they're all entangled, they're all connected. My heart is connected to your heart longitudinally. Everything is. This is how we are connected to God, to angels, archangels. All energy is connected here longitudinally. Here there is no time dilation. This is the forever now. Now.
I was gonna ask you tonight, Santos, what's your vision of the here and now? You're
Dude,
giving it to me right there.
Had that same question, Yannick.
Oh yeah.
Well, I wanted to figure out, future, past, now, how everything is.
He's giving it right
Anyway.
there.
There we go.
It is. Like I said last time, if this is a rope and we're playing tug of war and you're over here and I'm over here and I pull on that, well, I'm going to get immediate response. That's called instantaneous reaction at a distance. This is the only way to explain instantaneous action at a distance. The magnetic longitudinal wave. Okay, so let's get the three modalities. Let's get this sorted out properly. The neutron is nothing but dielectric. Pra, notice Ra and L, is Ra L. Magnetism, electricity. Dielectricity is neutral. It is the antifield.
Ether.
Magnetism is the field. Electricity is the field modality. Because it's doing this. The field here is now this magnetic field, this dielectric magnetic field, which is called magnetodielectricity, not electromagnetism. This is electromagnetism, inferior, transverse wave. Transverse means it's going like this. It goes up to the Tropic of Cancer and down to the Tropic of Capricorn. That's what Cancer and Capricorn represent, the wave amplitude. And Aries and Libra, they represent the longitudinal standing wave, the harmonious pulse of the universe. So what you've got here is you've got compression, rarefaction, compression, blue shift up the top, your throat chakra. The bottom of the torso is what color?
Red.
Blue shift, red shift. Now, these torus fields, they are not perfect spheres. They are golden eggs. They are pine cones. You ever seen all the pine cones at the Vatican? All the pine cones at the houses of Masonic Freemasons? Yep. When you go past the Freemason's house, you always see the pine cone, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pineal gland.
Seen it.
It's simple because what they're telling you is they know magnetic energy. The field is in the shape of a pine cone, an egg. It's like this. So it has that ratio. If that's 1, the top of the egg, if that is 1, this will be phi. 1.618, transcendental number. The Fibonacci ratio, the golden ratio, the golden section. Why is it called Fibonacci? Well, Leonardo Bonacci, 800 years ago, probably the second most famous mathematician after Pythagoras, he introduced fractions. He introduced the Arabic numbers. Formerly, it was Roman numerals, but this is a Bonacci. 1, 2, 3. He got these from the Arabic people. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 fractions. He introduced many things. He also introduced the Fibonacci numbers, which are 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 55, 89, and then 144. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We come to 144. 12 times 12 is 144. The 12th number in this Fibonacci sequence is 144. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 3 and 5, 8. 5 and 8, 13. 8 and 13, 21. 13 and 21, 34. 21 and 34, 55. 34 and 55, 89. 55 and 89, 144. So these numbers are not doubling. Doubling would be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Here they are growing at this rate here. 1.6. Here is the rate. This is 1. This is 1.618. Now this is 1. This is now 1.618. Now this is 1. This becomes 1.618. Now this is 1. This becomes 1.618. And everywhere in your body, pine cones, everything has a ratio of 1 to 5. So the fat part, that's blue. The narrow, tight, constricted part, that's actually where rarefaction redshift is happening, funny or not, because the leader in this field, red is always the first color. Blue follows red. Red is the leader. And so this is the leading edge. These are golden eggs, the apples of Apollo, the Taurus cows of Krishna, the good cowherd, the rancher, Jesus with his sheep and his lambs. It's Aries and Taurus. That's all that is going on. So what happens is this is a pulse. There's no particles here in the universe. The waves, see those waves? Scientists who are looking at quantities, or particle physicists looking for particles, they're both deluded. What they're actually witnessing, and they can't put their finger on it because they're not spiritualists, is a pulse, not a particle. So they're seeing a pulse wave universe. They're seeing the longitudinal energy is pulsating and it's compressing and rarefying. Why is that? Well, okay. Let's have a look at the, if you've got all these bottles standing together on a shelf like that, and you put some pressure from there, a push, you push those bottles, well, what's going to happen is they're going to compress. There will be a compression all the way till here. This will compress. Once that compression is over, then you'll see they expand again, and some will probably fall off, or they'll just go back to their original position, or just move over an inch. Depends on the thrust. Okay, if it's violent, some bottles will fall over, but that's what you call a longitudinal. All the bottles are standing together in a row, and you just push here, and then the last bottle gets hit as soon as you touch this bottle, because they're connected. Okay, so what's happening is they will compress and then rarefy, compress along a standing wave. Those compressions and rarefactions, just by nature of being, will produce the electromagnetic effect. This is an effect. This is a cause. This is the cause of all things. This is the effect of all things. So this is the temporal world. This is the atemporal world. There's no, it's the forever now. There's no future and past. So if you get a rope and you go like this and you flick it, being a musician and a stringed instrument musician that I am, a guitarist, I often relate to strings. You know, you pluck the string of a guitar and you see the transverse wave. All of a sudden, that longitudinal string starts to vibrate. And you'll find that the vibration... Okay, hang on, I'll just grab my guitar.
I'll grab mine too, why not?
Oh, that's great.
If I
just play for 1 hour. We could just sit here and watch you play for an hour.
So let's grab the E string, because it's the E string is a lot it's bassier. So you can see that vibration now. I'll separate the strings there.
Yeah.
Now that's one bass tone, but if I go to the middle of that string, which is here, I can play a harmonic. I'm just barely touching that string. So what I'm doing there, that's the harmonic point. That's the middle. On flamenco guitars, the middle of the string is always there, where the body of the guitar on that fretboard, that fret there, the 12th fret. Okay, so there's a harmonic. Those are not notes. The notes would be... And the harmonics. So what are those harmonics? Well,
it's a different vibration.
So there's your guitar. And there's, let's just put one string on there. Okay. Now, from there to there, you get one tone. Look at the word tone, eh? Aton. All is aton. Tone, tune, note. Those are all atomic words, because atom is sound. See, they're all anagrams for each other. Tone, tune, note. You can do this in all languages. I can go to all languages and find these letters for music, for tones. There's only one language. It's etymology. So in the middle here is a harmonic. So not only is this string vibrating like this, one vibration, it is also doing this. Crossing over here at the harmonic point. So now you have this wave and this wave, but there is more. So inside of that will be another vibration, and it goes like this. So now it crosses in the middle there. So let's grab the guitar, and you see a harmonic point here in the middle, but you also go to 1/3 of the string and you find another one
And one more up there. Go all the way up there. Yeah, there you go. Just got it.
What are these points I'm touching? Well, you can see that point is half of here to here. So what harmonics are for stringed instrument types out there, what harmonics are these points here. I just played that point there. I just showed you that. That's the last one I did. I played that one, and I played that one, and another one over here. I played that one, that one, that one, and that one. I did all of those on my guitar. If you rewind, you'll see that. So those are harmonics. So what's going on? Well, it's like this. That E chord is the essential bass tone, but there are harmonics in there that you can hear. It's like a bell. You can hear many, many little tones inside the one main tone. So here's your one main tone, and then that wave is creating harmonics, overtones, supertones, subtones. They're called overtones. So the whole universe is made of overtones. Tones, all these are tone, and overtones. And so what we have here is you would have this E string to get an E chord, which is that. You would need to go. So you've got the first, the third, and the fifth. So now you're doing harmonies, not harmonics. That's harmonies. Harmony, hormone, Har is the sun, Harpocrates, Horus is the sun, moon, moon. Harmony is sun and moon. Okay, so when you're playing harmonies, see this, I'm playing 6 strings now. Well, that's not just E's. That's E, G sharp, the third, and B, the fifth. That makes chords. Oop. So if I want to just play a simple note, you got one note. If I want to play a simple harmony, then you've got 2 notes. There's the E and the B. If I want to play a chord, you need minimum 3 different notes. So now I'm playing a chord. So this is the E chord. This is the E harmony. Just B and E. And this is the E note. And as that string vibrates, the string has its whole vibration. Then you cut it in half and you see the wave goes in the half. Let's start a newie, shall we?
So life is a pulse.
It is a pulse, brother. It's Ken Wheeler says light is a coaxial circuit. It's a pulse. It's a pulse perturbation with a wave. Yeah. Let's go into that, shall we?
Yeah.
Why not?
Hey, if we don't go through all the questions, we'll just be stuck for having you again. But we're not really stuck, so I don't mind.
I think we're still on question 1, right?
We're still on question 1. So worst comes to worst, you'll come back next week again.
See what I said? It goes from one thing to just the next, you know?
Coaxial circuit, that's the cross section, yeah? You know your TV coax cable?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is how Ken Wheeler explains it. Light is not just electromagnetic. It is first a longitudinal pulse perturbation, and second, it's electromagnetic wave. See, those who maintain that it's electromagnetic, light is electromagnetic, and these photon particles are shooting through the sky. Well, here is the pulse, the longitudinal insulated inner pulse perturbation, and then you'll have other wires that are insulated on the outside. So you've got coaxial. It's coaxial. There's not just one wire in there. Okay, so this will be the wave, and this will be the pulse. So what you've got is this and spiraling energy like that being generated, a field modality of electromagnetism. Whereas this here is magnetodielectricity. Magnetodielectric as opposed to electro that was a bit long. And so it's a coaxial circuit. It is pulsing. So if you're looking for particles, you're like a mechanic that only sees the pistons and not the crankshaft. This is how it has been described by people like Ken Wheeler. Let's say you've got a four-pistoned motor, and then you've got a crankshaft running through here. And so the crank so as the crankshaft turns, and these are the pistons are connected to the crankshaft. If you're looking at just pistons, you're looking at particles, right? And you're not seeing the longitudinal connector of all those particles. It's like saying that the wave of an ocean, as the wave comes up and goes down, it's like saying that is a quantity. That is a particle of the ocean. It's not a particle of the ocean.
It's a pulse.
It's a wave.
Yeah.
It's a wave of water. So when you're talking in waves, you need to explain a wave of what? Is it a wave of electromagnetic light? Or is it a wave of water, air, molecules being disturbed for sound to travel through the air? So the wave in the ocean, that's just temporary, isn't it? You don't see a wave, you never see a pond or an ocean and you see a wave just sitting there saying, hey, you know, I like my form, I'm a sexy wave, so I'm just going to maintain my wave form forever because I'm not interested in what the ocean's doing. I'm not interested in all the other ugly waves. I'm a beautiful wave. I'm going to stay here forever. It can't happen. Waves are connected to their longitudinal eternal home. It's this that needs to be recognized, not the pistons, or at least recognize them together. See the waves for what they are. They're just temporal manifestations of something underlying, something real, underlying, not particles. Because when you go looking for particles, then you have one illusion, the wave, which is your foundation for an illusion on steroids, which is called the particle. But if you realize that this illusion is based on a reality of atemporal energy, which is unconditioned, unqualified, and unlimited, the reservoir of magnetic magnificence. Let's have a look at that word, shall we?
Magnificence. I like that. Image, image. Isn't it what NASA give us all the time? All the
Right.
time, images, and they do magic with it. Not picture, but images.
That's funny. It's like in the same word too.
Net? Do we call this substance magnet? Why would we put a net on the end of mag?
Yeah.
Well, because it is a net. It's, if you look at it from on top, the magnet, there's your 0 point. You'll see the lines of force going like this, and then other ones going inward like that. And so like this, like that, like this, like that. And you see how
Yeah.
the flower of life is coming
Right.
out of that vortex. This is the only way energy works.
Now, is that how we process thoughts and information too? Does it come from outside in a field and kind of go within you? Kind of a circuit,
All
it's all out there.
All information, all knowledge, all wisdom, all light, all transcendence, everything is where it is and always has been in the longitudinal forever now world. Everything, we can draw on that world for everything we need. You know everything there. Here, in the wave world, you drank too much of the cup of lethe to remember all that stuff.
See, now, because I read some of Greg Braden's books, and he talks about how information is out there in a field.
It is.
I mean,
it's all information. This is information here. This is
Always thought that
intelligent.
too. Always thought that I have to get in touch with my information, my higher self in the ether somewhere, and bring it back, constantly. And
right. I even notice, like, if I'm going by the same places,
like that, yeah.
The same thoughts come through my mind. Some of the places I go by, even just driving out, and I notice deja vu. Deja vu. It's just all of a sudden I remember something at a particular point of where I was going, or where I was. I notice things like that.
Yeah.
So that means the information's out there, Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's my Aries cup. Look, it's like this, guys. Never ever commit the sin and be guilty of not attributing intelligent consciousness to this divine force. This is divine magnetism. Sri Yukteswar in his book, The Holy Science, of which I've done a lot of work out of, he said that mankind is now entering a time of divine magnetism. We're going to leave the world of electricity, charging, metering our power, putting a meter on the power, and giving a rate of charge and discharge for that energy. And so you can pay and continue to pay and pay for what God gives freely. Never, ever must you not see the intelligent, conscious energy that is God. This is God. God is magnetism. God is dielectricity. The third God of the Trinity is electricity. El, bell, bail. So El gives you bell, as in ding dong bell, ding, don, all is a don. Baal, because Baal is the god of beauty. So when you're talking God and science, you've got the one, the good, and the beautiful. The one, dielectricity. The good, magnetism. The good, magic. Magnanimous, magnitude. See, magnetism is what creates magnitude. Nothing else does. The magnitude that you see around you, what you call space and time, those all come from magnetism and magnitude. That's the good. The beautiful, the bello. In my case, bella. Feminine, beauty. That's the third God. Good always precedes the beautiful. When Jesus was called good teacher, he said, no one is good except the Father. Because why? Because Jesus, in his physical capacity, is not good. He is goodness. We are not good. Only one is good. That one is good. In that world we are good, but in this world we are goodness. So this is why Jesus was saying, don't call me good. There's only one form of good in the universe, and that is the one. And then from that one comes the good, and then the beautiful. They are all one, and they are all equally as important to each other because they are all principles. But one precedes good, and good precedes beautiful. That's why I said last week, truth precedes all other virtues. Truth is before love. Truth is before goodness, because truth embraces all of those principles and is first in position. Here, that's truth. Truth, good, beautiful. And so you've got dielectricity, magnetism, electricity. There's no other way of looking at it. You can if you want, but you'll just go round and round in circles doing what the scriptures say, forever learning, but never coming to an accurate knowledge of truth. If you want an accurate knowledge of truth, you must syncretize like this. There's only one way. There's many ways, but they're time consuming. The shortcut way, which you'll find in 10 years of studying syncretism, is this way. The way I've always been teaching. Always. The sine wave. The sin of Eve.
That's why they tell you become like a magnet. I have a question for you now. If at the center of all things is very important, something very important happening there must be something very important happening at the center of the earth. What do you think about that? Like at the center of the earth, it's not just, I mean, some call it the mountain, the magnetic mountain. Some say that the northern lights come out shooting from there, from the black sun. What's your idea of all this? I want to have your point of view on this, the Holy Grail, the black sun, the northern lights, all the magnetism around this. I want to know Santos Bonacci's point of view.
Okay, well, so if we go back to the plane of inertia, and we do this here like we always should do as good syncretists, and we model nature as nature wants us to model it. We don't go talking in protons, electrons, and neutrons, only if we need to make sure that the listeners know what we're talking about, but we actually give them the true version: dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. And that's all there is. It's all there ever will be. There'll never be anything else to study in the universe, because the universe will not do anything other than dielectricity, magnetism, and electricity. That's all it knows how to do. And it knows how to do that ad infinitum, unlimitedly. So what we do is we do this. We go out and back in. Always comes back in. So you're saying that the plane of inertia, or the planet Earth, is nice and hot in here, isn't it? So they say that there's well, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it tells us that there are 7 subterranean planets. Now, it says that the length of these planets is the same as our planet. These are all terrestrial, these 8 planets. Above us, we have Mercury, Venus, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. It's a 17 system per, it's 15 planets system. Okay. Now, some say in the Hebrew system they have Sheol here, which of course is nothing other than Shell or hell, and in Bhagavad Gita this planet is called Putala.
Now, are these depicted in scriptures, like telling you these planes exist? I mean, it's like, how, you know, who's ever really been there? You know, like, how do we know? Just based off scriptures and
all the unadulterated Eastern Vedic scriptures talk honestly about this. When we come to the adulterated, redacted, tampered with Bible, it's still a great book, but it has been tampered with. There are too many versions, okay? You'll find that Srimad Bhagavatam probably only has about 3 or 4 versions. With the Bible, you've got about 17,000 different translations.
Different books, right? I mean,
right. So what they say is they call this Hades or hell. Hades in Greek, infer in Latin, infernal. Notice the Tala. This Tala is Atlantic. In Italian, we say, this Tala, we say Italia. Italia. That Tala is the same as the Tala. All of these are Talas. Tala. Hang on a minute. I'll get the right names. I'll just go to my board.
Yep. I'm reading the question in the chat. If you guys have question, put it in the chat and I'll try to get the Santos tonight or maybe the next show or something. But I'm noting all of your question. I'm trying to put that all together. But if you have questions, put them in the chat and I'll note them. If it's not tonight, will be another one. It will come again.
It might take 20 shows until we answer, 20 questions.
It's okay. I'm very patient. I have time. For Santos, I have all the time in the world.
Okay, thanks, guys. I've got the name of 3. The other ones are long, and it's not necessary. This is Atala, guys. Remember, Atlantis sank below the waters. These waters here that are holding up our planet, there are other waters. There are other waters holding up these. Or if it's not water, it's an attenuated water called air that are holding these up, air cushions. Okay, so just like they are also being held up aloft in the air element. And Anaximedes, Anaxagoras, Anaximenes, Pythagoras, Plato, Socrates, Solon, Thales, they all knew this. They all knew about Hades, where it's hot. Why is it hot there? Why is it the Earth's core is hot? Well, that's compression. Compression is happening there. Where everything is compressed, it gets heated up. Where everything expands, it cools down. So it's simple. There is magnetic compression going on there. That's it. Everything is explained by magnetism. Everything. Not gravity, hocus pocus, gravity. Can't explain anything with gravity. That's why they still can't. 300 years after the supposed hypothesis of gravity, like the hypothesis, the Copernican hypothesis of an upside down spinning retarded Santa ball. People still think they're upside down. Oh, look, children, let's go to the zoo upside down in Australia, shall we? Oh, look at those cargo ships. Look at those aeroplanes filled with 500 passengers landing upside down on a north-south runway when the Earth is rotating at a phenomenal 1,038 miles an hour or 30 miles a second, kilometers a second, 19 miles a second. How does a plane land on a north-south oriented runway on an upside down Humpty Dumpty globe.
You know, there was
People
a
don't think,
reason.
do they?
There was a reason also for naming it North Pole and South Pole, and it's like a battery. There's a North Pole, there's a positive and negative. So this is whole thing is so inverted.
It is
Terrible.
inverted.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, what's going on is that heat is an artifact of toroidal energy. It's like the heat that's in your heart. Don't they say that blood is we are hot-blooded mammals? And where does the heat come from? Well, it comes from torus fields, compression. Huh?
Yeah, where does the heat? Yeah. You're pointing something good there. Where does the heat come from my blood?
Magnetism. See, the heart is compressing the blood in the veins. They're going back to the vortex of the heart, and then they are being rarefied, and they're going out to cool off and to bring nutrients to the rest of the body. That's all happening magnetically. The heart is not a pump. It's impossible for the heart to pump hundreds of gallons of viscose blood through clogged veins. It's just impossible for a pump to do that, any kind of pump. You can't design a pump to do that anywhere, anyhow. It has to be through magnetic. So if this is your body torso, and this is your heart,
this is a question I never ask myself. Where does the heat of my body come from? You know, we're so bamboozled. We're so bamboozled and arrogant. We think we know everything.
I know.
that's right. So when we look at Earth, we see that's just an anagram for heart, right? So the planet of inertia, the planet of Earth, is also pumping blood. It's the magma of volcanoes, hot magma. Why is magma hot? Because magnetism. Hello. So the heart is not pumping, it's pulsing. They call it a pump. It's a pulsar. It's pulsating. Dum 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 dum. That's a pulse. You know, when they say, doctor says, let me hear your pulse rate. R-A-T-E, rate. It's funny how you find the word rate in heart. Now, and Ra, and Rhea.
And they tell you your heart rate.
Are you kidding me? Now, tell me you're kidding. Rhea, the consort of Ra, the goddess and the god, are in your heart. H-R-H, there you go, just do it like that. Rhea. Rhea is the consort of Saturn. Saturn is Chronos time. So Rhea in the heart, yeah, because the rate of the heart, Rhea, generated, is magnetism. And so what's happening is the body is an amazing array of toruses. You've got one big torus, then you've got your liver is a torus field, your lungs has its own torus field. And what they're doing is they are compressing and rarefying. When you breathe, you compress. That's heat, warmth, cool, rarefaction. So when you want to cool your food, you got hot tea. Why do you blow on it? Because blowing like that cools it down. But if you blow like this, you're actually heating it up. You don't blow with a, you blow with an F, not an H. H is hot, F is freezing, right? They're the letters are telling you. So the earth is breathing like that, and the earth is also, you see the rivers? The Nile River, the Amazon River, the Ganges. the Ganga. These are all, how do they flow? By magnetism. People say, oh yeah, but the rivers have got to go downhill. No, they don't. No, they don't have to go downhill. Rivers are flowing magnetically. It's the magnetism that draws the currents of fluid on the earth, just like magnetism creates the tides. They breathe. The tides go up, expand, then they contract.
That's true, because how the river flows, you know?
Magnetism.
Wow.
Magnetism, not gravity. Not gravity.
Makes a lot of sense.
Not the false god of gravity of the Freemasons.
Masonic.
Gravity, the globe, the Humpty Dumpty globe. See, that's the sigil of Saturn. Okay? That sigil, that's the vortex, that's Saturnian. See, when you see the Freemasons compass and square, what you're actually looking at is you should be able to, let's do it so that it's, how do we do a Star of David here, guys? Oh, easy. Sorry, just bring that up a bit more higher. So what you're doing is you're seeing, what's the Star of David? Or the Seal of Solomon, the soul of man. Well, that's masculine phallic, red, fire, and the feminine womb, the feminine principle, and they are interlocking and interlacing. These are two vortexes coming together. And that's how nature happens, through sexual electrical energy. Electrical energy is materially, physically sexual. Magnetodielectricity, the spiritual power of the universe, is transcendentally sexual. Sex is how everything is taking place in the whole universe. Sex, and only sex. Sense, emotion, fire, and earth. Earth is sense, emotion is water. This is fire and air. Fire and air. Sex,
So
the four elements.
So is that why they write sex in the cloud and we're too stupid and we think it's a subliminal message that they're giving us? Now I'm starting to get it. We're double blind here.
Yeah, what's going on? The reason why the elite love the subject of sex and have little kiddies like Miley Cyrus masturbating on stage and
Right.
and all of that gross behavior.
Yeah.
The reason is because they want little children to start becoming adults sooner rather than later, so that they can mind control them and get them to consume their products, which is whatever Miley Cyrus is selling, shit music. Nothing like the good bands of old.
Oh yeah.
You know, bring back Led Zeppelin, man. I mean, they're already back. They're immortal and timeless. No one will remove them from #1 position ever, period.
It's like Bob Marley. I agree with you.
Oh yeah, of course. Bob is on top of spiritual enlightenment. Bob is the man, #1. You will not pass all these beautiful Rastafari teachings and praising of Jah and praising of the truth and getting out of Babylon. Get out of Babylon, my people. But these are the guys. These are the guys who get, you know, pretty much. Led Zeppelin never had any media attention because the media did not want to promote them at all. Why? Because they brought freedom-loving music to the world. Right. Beautiful music. Yeah. Exquisite beauty in music. Bob Marley, he was lucky to get a contract. He was lucky. He was lucky he found a good guy who loved his truth. Otherwise, those truthers, they don't get, those musicians, they end up street performing. They don't get those big contracts and gigs. You know, with
You can disturb, but you cannot disturb too much.
that's right, brother.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the subject of sex and all that,
Yeah.
is that basically also to
To go
keep
back on
people in
this.
the lower vibrational fields? You know, like you're explaining the lower chakras, right? So that's where you're keeping people within that state of mind, or, you know.
Yeah, Rob, that's exactly right. They want you to have sex down here in
Right.
hell
Right.
at redshift, because redshift it's harmful sex. It's very lustful, and it entails having a physical ejaculation. Now, all people who practice white tantra, as opposed to grey tantra or black tantra, they know through experience, lifetimes of experience, that to save the seed during sex and to lift it up so you have your orgasm, a spiritual air orgasm with no ejaculation. Nothing wrong with orgasm. Nothing wrong with orgasm. Everything is having orgasms. Okay? That is the true essence of our bliss, is the orgasm. It teaches you your true nature, that is how you are indefinitely, infinitely in your unconditioned state. That is how you will feel. This is why we love to have the orgasm, because we want to feel what we really feel like.
Right.
Because we've lost touch with that feeling. We can have an orgasm 24 hours a day if we learn how to have it up here.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the smart ones, the more evolved ones amongst us, they don't ejaculate their life force down below in redshift. They bring it up through the chakras. Here is the green. Here is the orange and the yellow. And then the blue one will be in the throat chakra. And then this up here will be violet and indigo, which is basically just everything up here is blue shift. Everything down here is red shift, just like the rainbow. So, so what you do is, if you can do that, you can retain those fluids. In the fluids are atoms of energy. Once you discard them or discharge them, you become what the Bible calls a practicer of loose conduct, like the prodigal son who had sex with all the prostitutes, ejaculating left, right, and center.
Right.
This is what, in the Bible, there was a guy called Onan. Onan. He was the third son of Judah. Judah had a daughter. I think it was Tamar. And so the first son married, the first son would have married his sister Tamar. Okay, so in Jewish law, the first son marries his wife. If he dies and there are single brothers left in the family, the next brother in line, the second oldest, has to marry that woman. So what happened was Onan was third. So his first brother, he died. The second brother married Tamar. Second brother dies. Onan comes in. Well, Onan thought he was smart. He said, I don't want to make this woman pregnant. I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to get sucked into having to raise her children, when in the first place, she's not my wife. I don't love her. She was married to my older brother and then my second older brother. Now here I come along to get scraps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have sex with her, but I'm going to pour my seed into the ground. Well, when God saw this, of course, don't take any of this literally, guys. This is all allegory,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
No.
Please don't be that retarded.
We know you. We know you.
Yeah. So people who take this literally miss the sublime truths due to their stupidity and ignorance.
You'll be getting messages now.
So Onan, he was ejaculating onto the ground, not inside of his wife to impregnate her. So God saw that and killed him. And he said, you don't waste your seed, dude. You do not waste your seed. That seed is sacred. You have to tithe and send that back to God, which means when you tithe, means you are actually abstaining from ejaculation at least 10% of the time, if not 100. And then you will be master of your dragon, your Kundalini dragon. And so in Japan, you know what a masturbator is called? I want to highlight that word, onanisto, named after Onan in the Bible. What's Japan? Why is Japan picking a very, very marked and peculiar example of seed wasting? Why did they borrow a Western biblical name, Onan, and call a masturbator or someone who wastes their seeds an onanisto? Onanisto. I used to go to Japan a lot, and you would hear some of the guys, you know, talking in a very low voice when they're pointing to someone. They say, "Oh," if they don't like that person, they say, "Onanisto." Well, why? Because this individual is still not conscious enough to know where his life force is. If it's in you, you keep it in you because it is yours. Your blood is yours. Never give blood. That's all Rothschild owned. That blood bank, that's all for the Rothschild vampires, the elites who drink that blood. They make it appear that we need a blood industry. Well, that's bullshit, because there's plenty of other, there's saline, all the salt, all the body needs is salt water, seawater. It's the same as the blood.
In French?
Yeah, but what if you're saving someone's life, though? I mean, that's, you know.
Well, you can do that with plasma. You don't need blood. You don't need someone else's blood. When you mix your blood with someone else's blood, you're now back at square one. You have to now start your recycling, your cycles of necessity all over again, because your blood is polluted. The most important thing to keep clean is the blood. You do not eat the blood of animals.
Right.
And in French also, it's the same thing. Eh? We use the word crosseur. Okay, when someone, when we say que c'est un crosseur, you know that's someone who is not very walking right in life, là. So it's the same thing as you. Là. So we use that word also. C'est vrai, hein? Puis, ben, c'est la masturbation en français, mais il y a un mot slang qu'on utilise au Québec, c'est se crosser. Fait qu'on on appelle ça un crosseur. C'est vraiment all related. Là.
Yep. Because these individuals are eating from the tree of life. The tree of life. So every time you have a physical orgasm, you are eating from the tree of life, and you're depleting your life forces. This is why people get shriveled up, old, and they dry up and wrinkly. You see these old people, and in their 30s and 40s, they've already got wrinkles.
Right. A lot of people go bald.
That's too many freaking black tantric orgasms. You get old really, really quick. You lose the moisture in your skin. And that's what George Carey says. When you only have a certain amount of chrism produced by the Santa Claustrum, that chrism, that Christos oil, call it sperm, call it pneumogastric nervous fluid, call it the fish, call it the bread, the manna. In the Bible, this is called many things. The manna of heaven. If you eat from that manna and you spill it and you don't tithe and return it back up to your head, heaven heaved up, you will perish. You will dry up like a dried up fruit and die. And the moment you die is the moment, the exact same moment, if you die of old age, that is, in your 60s, 50s, whatever, is the moment that the oil is depleted. This is why in the scriptures there are 10 virgins or 5 virgins. Doesn't matter. The point is there are 5 wise virgins and there are 5 foolish virgins. The wise virgins, they brought their lamps full of oil so that they could wait for the bridegroom all night long, and they brought extra oil. They brought another receptacle full of oil. The foolish virgins, they came up with about, I don't know, the lanterns half empty and just sort of waiting for the bridegroom with their oil in their lamp, just going, all right, well, he's going to, well, I'm a princess. I want to get married by this bridegroom. I've got my oil. Well, in an hour's time, the oil runs out and the bridegroom is delaying. So he turns up at 5 in the morning. The 5 foolish virgins, they've got extra oil. They keep topping up their lanterns and they're waiting. And when the groom is ready, he comes, he says, right, who's out there? 5 of you? Come and let's go to the nuptial suite. And the stupid virgins who ejaculated all their oil, they've got no oil left. They're not going to have the alchemical marriage of the Lamb. That's what it's talking about. That marriage is not a literal marriage. It's the marriage of when you bring the oil back up, then it gets married with the Lamb of God standing upon Mount Zion with his 144,000. And now you have ascension, and you have activated your dormant brain cells because now you have been married with the Lamb, Aries, the cerebrum.
Now,
go.
I was gonna say, like, how do you preserve that oil then? Is by good eating, no meat, like, what are the different things we can do to preserve that? Or
good question. Moderation is number 1. Always keep that word up. Moderation. Couple of M words. Moderation, which is backwards for Adon. So if you go A-D-O-M, all is Adon, okay? Moderation. Meditation. All is Atum. Look at the words backwards. Look at the words forwards. Always. Moderation, meditation. Why meditation? Well, because noise is this. It's a transverse wave. It goes up and down to Cancer, up to Capricorn, down, and it's just taking you, it's polarizing your mind. But when you meditate, what do you find? Black light. I can see blackness right now. My eyes are closed. Well, that's dielectric light. That's stillness. No noise. I can't hear what the policeman's sirens are doing. I can't hear the phone ringing.
Right.
I can't hear all those noisy people with, oh, I lost my boyfriend. Oh, I need to make money. Oh, I've got problems. I got a new, my car's broken down. Noise.
Right. Yeah.
Shut up. Meditation is where you will find the black light. You'll find all wisdom, all knowing. Everything you were looking for is when you shut your eyes. Because you're looking at the red and blue. Oh, look, there's some red sirens. There's a blue siren. There's a red pill, blue pill, red shift, blue shift. Roses are red, violets are blue.
Yeah.
Democrats are red. Republicans are red. Democrats are blue. Everything's red and blue, red and blue. Vibrating, noise, 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 noise. This is inferior noise. That's what we call. See, sound. Sound. Adon. All is Adon. Okay. Sound, sonoluminescence. You see, it's no use talking about light. God is light without sound. The Logos is sound, the word of God, the verb of God. Verb, see, Logos equals word equals verb equals reverb. Reverberate. Ra, ra, ra. ra, radiate, rarefaction. So sonoluminescence,
Reverberation.
yeah, reverberate. Even in French, the word for word is mot, bon mot. Well, what is that? Atom. All these atom words. The word sonoluminescence is what creates all of these waves. See, it creates the waves, but it's also the pulse which stabilizes the wave. Where do you want to where do you want to engage your energies? In the material wave world, or do you want to sublimate, meditate, go within and transcend the vibrational red and blue shift world and go back into the transcendence, into the pulse, where sonoluminescence has no vibration? See, when we think of sound, we think of a vibration. Turn up the frequency, turn up the pitch. You know, from what 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz is our hearing range. So we think of vibration, but sound in its original form, Aum, you can't hear it. In its original form, it's like this. It's transcendental sound, transcendental luminescence. So there's only one way of getting there, and that is through meditation. Now, meditation may be music. Meditation for you may be walking barefoot through the forest. Meditation may be you with your hand in hand with your loved one, your soulmate, your twin flame.
So it comes in all forms.
It comes in all forms. But
So,
it doesn't come. Go.
Sorry, it's just there's a delay. I was gonna say, like, you can still attain those same effects, like just having different forms of meditation. Doesn't have to be sitting down with your hands, you know, even the way you were showing us earlier, you're connecting your thumb with all your fingers. I mean, does it have to be done like that, or it really just comes in, you know, however it expresses itself through every person uniquely, I guess?
You need to find meditation that suits you. It might be yoga. Okay, so
I love yoga. I started doing it.
yeah, well, the 5 Tibetan rites would be the best yoga you can do. Okay, the 5 Tibetan rites.
I mean, for me, it's music, you know, by far.
Rites. I would be doing those. I'd be chanting Om. That's your Om. You'll notice there, my Ganesh has the Om above it.
Oh,
see
yeah,
there,
yeah.
up there, Om. There's the crown chakra. There's the cerebrum. And there's the spinal cord going down there. That's the spinal cord. That's what Ganesha is. Ganesha is in your body. Everything is in your body. Your body is the Holy Land. Never look outside for Jerusalem. Never look outside for Judea, Samaria, or all of these holy places. It's all in your body. Man is the measure of the universe. So one way of meditating is do a mudra. If you want to be inspired with your intuition, sit and chant like this. Om Shanicharaya Namahe. Om Shanicharaya Namahe. Shanicharaya is Saturn. Number 1 to chant to is Saturn. When you chant to Saturn, then all the other chants, everything opens up in your life. Jupiter. Om Gurave Namahe. Om Gurave Namahe. This is now for the mind. Jupiter is the air element. This is fire. This is air. Om Gurave Namahe. Guru. Jupiter is Guru. Gurave. Gurave. Om Gurave Namahe. That's to Jupiter. Mars. Mangalaya. Om Mangalaya Namahe. Water. Om Mangalaya Namahe if you want to stabilize yourself emotionally, chant to Mars, the water god, and do this mudra. Om Mangalaya Namahe. Your emotions after 10 minutes, they'll be ironed out. And the same, the sun. The sun is Sura.
So someone was asking in the chat before how sound is solid, because you're talking about sound, and he was talking to ask you how sound is solid.
Solid?
Yeah, that was his comment.
No, sound is a pulse wave. Can't be solid. Those are both spiritual. It creates the illusion of solid. Sound is responsible for all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Solid
illusion.
Yeah, all of this flesh here, this is all temporal, transient, mundane energy, which is crystallized in a way that it appears that it is solid. It is not solid. All atoms are empty because they are energy. So what is this? What is this clashing of atoms? My knuckles are firmly stopping at this point on my forehead. There's a bone there, yeah, the skull. Why? Well, because all atoms are magnetic, and the atoms that compose your body, they are not coherent. They are incoherent. If they were coherent, you would have a magnetic field which would attract magnets to your body because of coherency. Okay, because all atoms are little gyroscopes like this. Plane of inertia and a jets shooting out of here, jets shooting out of here. Basically like that. Hyperboloid. And then the field is generated around it. Just like we've shown. So if you've got atoms going like this inside of a magnet, those are all coherent. But in your body, they're like this. They're all over the place. They're incoherent. That incoherency causes blue shift to be here, blue shift there, here, 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 and here. And so you've got red shift, red shift, red shift, red shift, blue, red. See that? When you do this, you've got red shift smacking against blue shift. They don't like each other. So they push each other away, and you think that that is solid because you hear a sound. That's just all the atoms reacting. Here, in a magnet, it's only like this. Everything is coherent. Coherency, like the fasciae of Rome. Why, when you get one twig has its tensile strength, it's easy to break. But if you get 20 twigs, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 fasciae, and you tie them together like the Romans do. See the Congress Hall in Washington, D.C. with its massive fasciae. Now, this is multiplicative.
There's a meaning for everything behind their madness, eh?
This is multiplicative force. Those 20 twigs in here, they are now stronger than when they were on their own. See, this twig is weaker than those 20 twigs multiplicatively, not additively. So this is not 20 times stronger than that. This is like about 100 times, because those 20 twigs are not 20 times stronger than this one. They multiply in strength. It's multiplicative. So when you have a laser light, that's laser light. That's light from the sun. The white light from the sun, or gold, which is God, that white light is like this. It's incoherent. This is a magnet. This is a laser light. Coherency, field coherency.
So that's why it's important for them to always keep us between red and blue. You know, like I told you, the police car lights and everything. Like pretty much all the flags, all the sports team, it's all blue and red, very much with white or black or. So it is Now to go back to the center of the Earth, I would like to go back to this, the center of the Earth, the subject of the center of the Earth, and what is the Northern Lights. Do you think the Northern Lights come shooting out of there? Where those Northern Lights come from, Santos? What's your opinion on that?
Well, don't need an opinion. You just observe and know.
Yeah, but I've never went. I've never observed them. So did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just watch some videos. Punch in Aurora Borealis and watch and see, and this is what you will see. And this is not our opinion. This is how it is. Here's the plane of the Earth. We are all vertical on a horizontal plane. No one is upside down. There's you happily walking vertically on a horizontal plane. Here's me in Australia, really happy. And in the middle,
excuse me,
in the middle of the plane of the Earth, we have the North Pole. Out here, we've got the South Pole. South Pole. Because if the Earth was a disk, which it is, this is Antarctica, the South Pole, all around. And here is the North Pole. That's not bullshit. That's blue shift. So what color is the Aurora Borealis? You tell me.
But usually green. I
Yeah,
see green.
green, purplish, I guess.
Purple.
Green, purple.
Red.
No red.
No red.
No.
Blue?
No.
Blue? No?
Blue.
Yeah, I've seen it in a plane once. It's the only time I've seen it. I was flying in a
blue
plane.
and green a lot.
Red shift is out here and below the Earth. Blue shift is in the center, which is the true magnetic South Pole. This is the magnetic North Pole. South Pole is where South Pole.
In the word south, there's the word out.
Out. Yeah, out. So South Pole is compression. Blue shift. North Pole is rarefaction. Red shift. Radiation. Rarefaction. Red. Magnetic North Pole. South Pole, so you've got the two sounds S and C. S. Compression is at the South Pole. That's how to remember the order. So what is happening is, we know, as you said before, this in the core of the Earth is hot. Well, it is, but because as the vortex goes like this around the Earth plane, here there must be compression, there must be heat generated on this plane. This is going to be hot due to the compression. See, I would go as far as to say that the Earth is hot because there is more compression going on at the moment to stabilize the Earth. So it's probably hotter than it should be. Volcanoes, there are periods in history where there's more volcanic action than other periods. We know that. It's like a breath, an undulating breath. So we know that it will flare up from time to time. And that is due to only one thing, the breath of magnetism. There's no other explanation for phenomena in the world. There is only one way to explain all phenomena, and that is through the field, magnetism. You see, this is why a lot of these quantum physicists and particle physicists in quantum mechanics, they don't like to talk about the ether, the quintessence, the ether, thumbs up. Why do they deny the ether? Einstein denied the ether by creating the theory of special relativity. When that failed in 1905, then he came out with general relativity 10 years later in 1915, and that failed as well. It still hasn't explained the particle wave universe at all, because they're trying to explain it with an illusion on top of an illusion. The particle is an illusion born of the wave, which is an illusion. But the wave that is an illusion is born of a reality, which is the pulse. So if we stick to the pulse wave universe, we will have our feet firmly on the ground. We'll create a foundation of reality. They are in the world of non-reality, and they tell you themselves. Niels Bohr, Richard Feynman, these idiots, they're always telling you, we can't understand shit, so why do you read our books? They're telling you, the world of quantum particle physics will never be understood by man. Of course, because it's not understandable. It's a crock of shit. Pardon the French.
That's the truth. Yeah.
So it's compression.
C'est de la merde. C'est qu'on dit en français.
Yeah. It's not a bon mot, it's a mal mot.
Ouais, c'est un mal mot. C'est un mauvais mot.
Mauvais mot. Mauvais.
Ouais.
So what we see, guys, is the natural system. This is not an opinion. I'm not opinionating here. I don't deal in opinions, never have. Well, I probably did once when I was a heliocentrist and talking about globetard things. Yeah, that was an opinion, because, and I went against my better judgment. I was an astrologer and I knew that it was geocentric. So why did I follow Copernicus and Kepler and all of these upside down spinning pseudoscientists? Well, because that's how it works. But I repented, and now I'm on the horizontal plane. So I know where I'm at. I know who I am. So I don't deal in opinions. This is not an opinion. This is based on how everything works. Atoms. If you look up at a galaxy, you'll see it like this. What do you see when you look at a galaxy?
I think, Santos, I think we really find who we are. We really comfort ourselves in the group thinking, whatever it is, until you really find yourself and you're convinced of your true essence and you have found your balance and everything. You will always go into the group thinking for whatever. And Flat Earth is the same. The Flat Earth is the same until you break out of it and start realizing that the whole thing is a bit more shapeless than anything. So.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
So globular people insist that we live on a sphere, right? Whereas flat earthers insist that we live on a round earth, not a spherical earth. We do live on a round earth. Like my round table, like a round coin, like a round disc. It's not spherical, it's round. So when you look up at the solar system, you see this is their solar system, by the way. They have the sun here in the middle. And they have Earth going around here in an orbit, elliptical orbit around the sun. Then they've got Venus is also doing an orbit. Mercury is a smaller one. Then you've got Mars, then you've got Jupiter, and you've got Saturn, a big orbit. Well, that's flat. That's a flat solar system. Just in case the globetards can't spell flat, I'll do it for them. So they have a solar system that's flat. You look at the Milky Way, you look at the galaxies, what they call galaxies, and you see a whole accretion disk type cloudy thing like that. And then you've got a jet going out like that, and a jet going out here. And they tell you that that's how galaxies are. Well, I'm gonna impress the globetards with my spelling so that they can learn how to spell flat, because I think they've forgotten it. They tell you that the universes are flat. The solar system's flat, but the Earth ain't flat. Why? Because you're a tard of the globular type, and you need to get off your tardness and get flat. By the way, this is for the globetards, once again, like Danny, Christopher, Cullen. That's where you live, dudes. You're not upside down. You're not spinning. You may be ejaculating, but you're not upside down.
Exactly.
Thumbs up.
Exactly.
Now I have a question. When you look up at the stars, it's just been on my mind for a while. When you mention the firmament, are those stars contained within them or outside the firmament?
A bit of both, brother. A bit of both. Don't limit your already limited perspective. Our perspective cannot allow us to see the distance of stars and to see everything that's going out there, because these are limited. Okay, so it annoys me when I see flat earthers. They're on the right track because they're vertical and horizontal, so they're not upside down spinning. So that's good. Pat on the back. But then they go off about, oh, there's nothing else out there. There's just this one universe that God made. He could only do. It's like a builder who can only make one house. Can you make me a second house? Nope. I'm a builder, but I can only make one house in a lifetime. Well, what sort of a builder is that? You know, God is not limited. God is unlimited. Therefore, if we say that this flat earth universe we live in is the only one that God made, and we're so special and we're the center, and so now we've broken, you know, the system, and we've unlocked the system, and now we understand all things, and this is the only universe, and we're so special, and blah blah blah. This is limiting. This is what the materialists do. Transcendentalists should never fall into this trap. So when we look up there, we can tell clearly that the stars are fixed and embedded in the firmament. They are fixed there. That's why they're called the fixed stars. Whereas these ones, Jupiter, Saturn, they're called those five, with the two luminaries, moon and sun, those seven, they're called the wandering stars. The other ones are called fixed. Why? Because they're fixed.
Now, if they're if they're fixed within that firmament, I mean, you say a little bit of both, but let's say for the ones that are fixed within that dome, I mean, the dome's not very high though, right? Or is it bigger than we could ever imagine it to be? Is that, because I mean, if it's so close, I mean, couldn't we just go to any star and just fly around it, or you know what I mean? Because if it's said that the sun is only, let's say, 2,000 to 3,000 miles away, like you mentioned, you know, and it's held within that dome. I mean, how big is this dome? You know.
Well, we'd have to look. Yeah, we can accurately say that this dome, this firmament, is a few thousand miles above our heads. It's not millions of miles and light years and all that crap. It's just a few thousand miles. So we don't know. 5, 6, 7. I don't know. We don't know. But this is the point. There are some bodies of light that we see that are beyond the firmament, and they would be what what conventional science is calling galaxies. I personally, here is an opinion now. I don't deal in opinions, but this is an opinion. I personally feel that those galaxies, Andromeda and all of those galaxies we see, I believe that they are solar systems which are universes. They are material universes. So Andromeda is not a galaxy. It is just like our universe. It is a torus field. It has an accretion disk, and it has jets coming out through the center, northward and southward, and everything is like that. So we can't just write off all those lights and say, no, they're all in one enclosed system. I do believe we will have the technology and understanding and insights soon to realize that we are actually looking at some universes out there.
But it's important what you're saying there, because a lot of flat earthers in their mind view, they are the center of creation. The earth is the center of creation, and that's all there is. So it's very important what you said there. You go against the grain, if I can say that, because me too, I was pretty convinced that earth was the center of creation, but you just opened some yeah, it's good to hear what you have to say. I like it.
Well, it's like this, brother. You're right. It's true. Earth is the center. It's geocentric, and it is the center of creation, because where you are and where I am, that's the center. You are the center, not the earth, it's you. You are always in the center of creation. You are the centerpiece of creation. You are that glorious. That's how it works. And all the other entangled particles, the other individual separate beings which are not separate, they also are the center of creation. Everything is the center. You never go outside of the center. You never do. Wherever you go, you'll be the center. You bring it with you.
Now, when it goes to those planets, those wandering stars, if you want to call them by their real name, wandering stars, Mars, let's take Mars. I have a book on astrology here. It says Mars is the planet of physical energy. It governs your sex drive, your forcefulness, and your aggression. Mars is the planet that spurs you into action. Where do they take this? Like, how can you know what Mars is for, Neptune and all those? Like, you are an astrologer, so you can tell me now, how do they determine that? Like, what's your relation to mainstream astrology and what you're doing? Are you interpreting it the same way as they do? Or you have a different opinion on this, or a different way to give it to people?
There's only one way, brother. There is only one way. Astrology is a fixed, perfect science. Nothing is lacking. Nothing is deficient. It is perfect and true, and it is the astrologos, the word of God. I am an interpreter of this science. I have not changed anything in this science. I can't do, because I'm too dumb. And all I'm doing is teaching astrology as it should be taught. And I'm a tropical Western astrologer, and everything in astrology goes back to this, to energy. How? Let me show you. This is how astrology works. And why is Mars? Well, first of all, just so I don't get distracted, because I've got a lot going on, let's do our typical little plane of inertia. Torus field. Okay, all energy goes like this.
Okay,
Four quadrants.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I kind of see what you're gonna say now, but go ahead. It's interesting.
Yeah. Aries.
Depending on their position in the realm where we are, that's the energy they give, they radiate, I guess, or.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that. I'm gonna explain why Mars was described in such a way. Here is Aries. See the M of Aries? Interesting, isn't it? Do you think the astrologers knew their stuff? Yeah, that's a Taurus field, Aries. Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. By the way, that's an MY, Virgo. Why? Because it's Mary, the Virgin.
Oh, okay.
Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. In the Taurus field, Aries will always be number 1. Taurus will always be number 2. See the T for Taurus? 2.
It's the same as 2.
Yeah. Tor, 2. It's binary because the letter T is the 20th letter in the English alphabet that reduces down to 2. B for bull. Wherever you see B, that's the number 2. By, both. So you've got binary bull and 2 Taurus. 2 is always here. There's only one place where doubling occurs from 1 to infinity, and that's at the number 2. So the jump from 1 to 2 is doubling. That will never repeat again. That's why these are the most powerful signs of the Taurus field. And they define the Taurus field. Look at their glyphs, look at their symbols. Pay attention. So you've got the 1, Aries, I am, oneness. The 2, Aries, bull, I have. To be, to have. You are a soul, you have a soul. You see? Look at the word Bible. To the Old Testament and the New Testament. Bible. Well, that's what the Taurus is. See?
Yeah, and the two main verb is to be and to have.
Yes, exactly. They are the auxiliary verbs.
Yeah, in French too, and everywhere in language, I think.
Yeah. Avoir.
Avoir et être. Yeah.
Avoir et être. So, j'ai, I have. Je suis, I am. So, being and having, the 2 auxiliary verbs, they're right there. Okay? Now, pay attention. The Taurus bull. Turbulence. Trouble. Do you think that's trouble? Double trouble. Terrible. Taurus, bull. Turbulence, terrible, trouble, double trouble. Bible. Hang on a minute. I've got a few words here. Let's see what else we can come up with.
I'll be right back. I'll run to the bathroom.
Bubble.
Yeah, we live in a bubble. We can see the trouble.
Bubble, Bible, Babel. This is all Babel, isn't it? Babylon. Babel is the bull. Everything is the bull. Krishna has his bulls. Moses and Aaron have their golden bulls. The bull is always the symbol of sacrifice in the scriptures. Why? Because when the sun goes through here on the 21st of April to the 21st of May, it's killing the bull. Like Mithras is killing the bull. Abraham is killing the ram. Hercules is killing the lion. Someone else is killing the horse. Another one's sacrificing the sacrificial goat. So what we have here is we have everything is going on here. Here's Jesus as the good shepherd. Here is Jesus as the rock. Here is Jesus as the twin. Here he is the unicorn, the scarab. All the church fathers called Jesus a scarab. I wonder why. Because it's the sun in Cancer. Here's Jesus as the lion of the tribe of Judah. Judah, July, June, July, Leo of the tribe of Judah. Here's Jesus as the bread. I am the bread of life. Virgo, the bread season. Bread season? Well, would that be, remember Rhea? Rhea? Virgo is cereals. Rhea, bread. Rhea, cream. Rhea, because why? Because she's great. Rhea, Virgo. Here is Jesus in Libra as the just one, the one who judges. Here is Jesus as the wise one, as serpents, to be wise as serpents, as cautious as doves. Here is Jesus riding on a white horse, the equine. Here is Jesus as the sacrificial goat. Here is Jesus as the Son of Man. Here is Jesus as the fisherman of men. Here's the most holy prayer ever uttered. Okay. Our Father who art in heaven, let your name be sanctified. I am. Remember what the burning bush said to Moses? What's your name? So that I can go to Pharaoh in Egypt and tell him who you are. He said, I am that I am. So our Father who art in heaven, heaven, head heaved up, same words. Let your name be sanctified. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. You see the judgment of the scales of Libra? Forgive us our trespasses. Deliver us from the wicked one. Scorpio, temptation. And I forget the last. Our Father Heaven.
Notre Père qui es aux cieux, que ton nom soit sanctifié, que ton règne vienne.
Okay, sorry.
I should say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's start again, guys. This is very important.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start again. Deliver us from, tempt us not, because Scorpio is about temptation. I want. That's the motto of Scorpio. And then this one is deliver us from the wicked one. Let's start that again. Our Father who art in heaven, let your name be sanctified. I am. Let your kingdom come. I have. Taurus is the kingdom, the earth, the stability, earthy things, kingdoms. Thy will be done. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is the one who tells us the will of God. On earth as it is in heaven. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. The sun is the ruler of Leo. Earth, heaven. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from the wicked one. For you are the power and the might forever and ever. It's all here. Everything is in the Taurus field. This is the Bible. This is the Babel, the bubbles. Because the bull is always double, because it's the number 2 by virtue of the letter T and the letter B. It's a Bible. Okay, and so why do we say Mars? Why do we say Mars is, well, you've got to know what the planets are. Okay, so let's start with Saturn. Have we got much time?
Yeah. I have all the time for you, Santos. No problem. Listen, the people that are making this world worse are not taking days off, so I won't. No days off. No, never retreat, never surrender.
Never retreat. We will never surrender.
Nope.
Pink Floyd.
That's it.
Okay, so, Saturn is Chronos, or old man time. I do that quite often, don't I? Tempo, temperature. So you've got Chronos, chronology, time, tempo, temperature.
Temporal.
Yes. What about this one? Temple. All temples go to Saturn, Satan, because he's the ruler of this world. This guy's the ruler. He's the first heaven. As our souls descend down to earth, down the Kabbalistic tree from ether, Kether, to Malkuth, earth, from ether to earther. There it is, ether to earther. We go down, Saturn's at the top, Earth's at the bottom. You got Saturn up here, then you got Jupiter, then you got Mars, Venus, all the way down the Kabbalistic tree. So what you've got now is you've got, this guy is earthy. Do you want to know in Japanese how you do the symbol for Saturn, the kanji? It's like this. No, hang on. It's like this. That's Earth and Saturn. Do. Look at the word for Saturn. Do. Dose. And Saturday is Doyobi. Doyobi. So Do is time, T, time, Earth. In astrology, this is how you do Saturn. So rather than having the Japanese kanji like that, you just do a curve around here and you make a sickle, the scythe of the Grim Reaper. But it's the same thing. It's the same kanji. I can show you I can show you a whole bunch of Japanese words that actually syncretize with Hebrew words, Greek words. Here's one. Sorry. Daberu means to talk in Japanese. Daber in Hebrew means to talk. Daberu, daber. Are you kidding me? What is daber? Well, it's dabra, abracadabra, dabre. This is why Deborah. What does Deborah mean? Deborah. I forget how to spell Deborah. Let's spell it like that or like this. Deborah. I don't know. There's many versions, but that's what it is, to speak. What does Deborah mean? Prophetess. Remember in the Bible, Deborah was the prophetess because Deborah is dabra, daber, to speak. Dabra cadabra. In Italian, lips are called labbra. Labbra cadabra. Deborah, cadabra, abracadabra, open sesame. It's speaking, it's opening. You see? So when you look at Saturn, you must look at this powerful earthy archetype. Jupiter is air. He is air, expansive. So he is beneficent. He's kind. He is hot and moist. Saturn is cold and dry. Hot and moist. Mars is hot and dry.
So
Cold and dry.
Hot is energy. So this
Yes.
is where they get it from. No?
Yeah. So this is the male active principle. So what you read before about Mars is correct. He is action, martial, the aggressive, burning, fiery nature of Mars. The sun is life-giving, vitality. What does that mean? Vita,
Live?
life.
Or
La
life, I
vita,
should say,
la
same
bella vita. Vitality, vital. Love, beauty, wisdom, and virtue comes from Venus. Mercury, communication, intellect. Moon, intuition, sensitivities, emotions. So that's how you know. You need to know these archetypes. You need to know their energies. They are like people in our lives. Some people in our lives dampen our spirit. Some of them make us happy.
Yeah.
So we hang out with the ones that we have a good effect with, because everyone is ruled by one of these. My ruler is this guy. Jupiter's my ruler, the ruler of my birth chart. And then Mars, and then Mercury. And you can see it in my nature. If you can't see Jupiter, jovial Jupiter in my nature, you ain't looking. If you can't see Mars and Mercury, you're not looking. Mercury is Hermes, Buddha, Thoth. Mercury, the communicator of the gods. What am I doing? I'm communicating God science. So those are my three ruling planets.
What else is
Okay.
connected with
Sorry?
Venus? What else is connected with Venus? I'm just curious. Just because that's in Libra, right? Is Venus is ruler?
Virtues, good things, beneficent. Hang on.
It would be interesting next show to do a birth chart, maybe my birth chart live here on the show, and he can Santos. It would be interesting maybe next show to do my birth chart live, so we can explain it at the same time, and because it's very interesting.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
the next show we'll do that. We'll start with that. We'll start with that. See if we can ask you other questions, but we'll start with that.
For sure. That will be my pleasure.
Yeah.
And you're going to learn things about yourself that you never knew by looking at your chart, because you're going to be looking at your circuitry, your electrical circuitry of your material body. But you will also be looking at your spiritual magnetic circuitry. So you'll be looking at your intellect, your soul, your emotions. You'll see how everything is configured in your chart. It's the only way. Well, it's not the only way, it's the best way.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we'll do that
Yeah,
for sure.
I know how to pull it up on the internet. I just don't really know how to read it. Based off of all what you just showed there, Venus, Mercury, all that.
Yeah.
Well, I can show you in a quick lesson how to more or less roughly read your chart in 2 hours. So why don't we do that next time?
Yeah.
We will do how to read the chart. Simple.
Yeah. We'll start with that next week, and then I have a whole bunch of other questions to ask you, but I don't want to hold you for 3-4 hours consecutively. So we'll do that another Saturday night. It's Saturday Night Live with Santos Bonacci on the Tru-Mon Show.
Funny.
Except Jim Carrey's not here, but
That's it. So, man, thank you very much, Santos, again. Wow, my heart is pounding so much information. I'm going to have to rewatch it again, but I do that all the time because it's so much teaching, so much precious divine information that I'm sure everybody really appreciates in the chat. I saw the comment, the whole show, and people are really, really appreciative of your presence here and everything. They're really appreciative of the information, and after that, we take this and we make sense of it, and that's how we're gonna come together, and making it work. That's what it is. It doesn't mean that I agree with everything, but I make sense of it. I take it, I make sense of it, and I create my own reality with all this stuff. I get all the teaching from everybody, and I create my own reality, my own world. That's what I'm here for, creating my own world. Big up, Santos. Big up, big up. Enough respect, and we see you again next week.
Lovely. Au revoir.
Hey, cheers, Santos.
Yeah.